I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review. Yesterday, EA released somewhat of a madness. This is an unbelievably well-priced SBC, 2 in a row. Can only mean one thing. Later today, we are going to get shafted. We are, of course, talking about Ansu Fati's SBC, coming in at around 125, 135, depending on when you did it, and what you have in the club already, I guess, because, of course, if you do have a few untradables, you can offset the price of this, which is obviously going to be very handy indeed. But, I mean, he is an unbelievably good card, and he fits the meta of this game perfectly, to the point where there isn't an awful lot of negativity around him, even though there are some stats with reactions, maybe attack positioning, possibly strength, and even the stamina comes into question at times. But because he's so good in the key areas of what you need for this game, well, not need necessarily, but what really helps, you know? So, for instance, you can be a bad player, but if you've got 11 players on the pitch, or at least if you've got 8 players on the pitch, who are suited to the meta of the game, there is a very strong chance you will be carried by those players. And I'm not saying that that's true for everyone. I'm not saying that just because you're a bad player with good players you're going to win, or not saying that you can justify losses to people because you think that they've been carried, etc. We're not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is, if you want every single advantage possible in this game, you have to play to the meta. Meta being high agility, high acceleration, and just mobile players. Ansu Fati is that in a nutshell. He has got 97 acceleration, 94 sprint speed. He's got 4-star, 4-star, high attacking work rate, and that lean body type. That goes under the radar for a lot of people because it's not in the game. And what I mean by that is you can't actually, well, to my knowledge anyway, you can't see what body type each individual player has unless you go onto an external website such as Footbin or whatever you use. Obviously, everybody uses Footbin. So, yeah, you could see the body types there. So, there's lean, average, stocky, and then you've also got, like, high average, high lean, high stocky, and so on. I'm not even sure if you have high lean. I'm guessing they do. I don't know. But either way, lean body type is what fits the game the best because that's going to give you the more mobility. And it just reigns true for Ansu Fati. I often question whether certain cards that get upgrades like this will be as good as higher rated cards currently are. So, for example, you know, you've got like a Mane card, for example. He gets boosted up. He's already great anyway, and then he gets boosted up to like a 98 rated card or whatever he is. He's obviously going to feel insane. But does a silver rated card, which is what Ansu Fati's base card is, he's 73 rated, he has been boosted tremendously. Is the card going to feel as good as an 89 because he's been boosted from a silver? I think I've got one or two player reviews out already where we talk about this, and I'm going to have one where we go into a little bit more, not in depth, but just we talk about it a little bit more. I think it's Lucas Perez, the video that will be out probably later today, maybe tomorrow, that we'll talk about that. So I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but just to, you know, put your mind at rest, shall we say, this card does not suffer from that at all. His ball control is some of the best you'll play with, really. I mean, unless you go for the top cards, I'm talking your Messis and your icons and things like that. I did mention Ronaldo, by the way, because he's not out just yet. I mean, he does have a team of the year, I guess, but now, we won't get into that. I was going to say, well, his dribbling isn't necessarily as good as someone like Messi in this game because of the profile of the player. But anyway, his acceleration, his sprint speed, agility, balance, and then the dribbling and ball control all come together. And I suppose, to a degree, you could talk about the lean body type as well. They all come together to make this just magician, almost. He can glide through people. If you are made of money on this game, you can quite literally create the dream front three. You could put Ansu Fati on the left, you can put the team of the season or team of the year, whichever, Lionel Messi on the right, and then that new Suarez card looks fantastic, and of course you could put him up front. If you have done that Saul SBC, by the way, definitely put him in the team. Those two together, I mean, they're going to link really well. Saul, such a well-rounded CM, box to box. Link for the video will be at the end of this video, because I've done a review on him already. But yeah, it's nice that they've released 2 Spaniards in a row, really, so you can get that nice link together. And neither of them are that expensive. Saul's like 200k. This Ansu Fati is between 125 and 135. So, I mean, you can get both of them for the price of Martin Odegaard, which is just absolutely insane. If you'd said to me before they released La Liga, there's going to be a 90, is he 92, Martin Odegaard? I mean, that's a great card, but he's like 300k. You can get Ansu Fati and Saul, 93 and 89 rated, and Ansu Fati is unbelievably, well, fits the game unbelievably well, and he is such a good card. And same with Saul to a degree as well. They are both the same price as someone like Martin Odegaard, which is just crazy. And I would not have believed you if you'd said that to me, because they only released Ndidi for the Premier League. We didn't get anyone else. And now we've got 2 bangers, well priced as well. You are treating us, EA. Let's talk about the negatives, because we've sort of, noshed him off a little bit too much already. Let's talk about some negatives here, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Nah, it is. Nah, stamina. Stamina is annoying, because you want this guy on the ball all the time. And the more you give him the ball, the more the stamina is going to deplete. And I mean, that's the same for everyone. You're not going to get that with... I mean, even if you've got a 90 stamina player, you are still going to have that problem where if you are hammering that guy, you are going to lose stamina quite quickly, right? And Fati is absolutely no exception, because he's got that acceleration, he's got the dribbling, he's actually really good in front of goal, really accomplished in front of goal, very comfortable, doesn't really panic under pressure. The composure is just high enough that he doesn't really snap at chances and just hit them when you're not really in the right position to hit them. When you're bearing down on goal, and Hamdallah is a prime example of this. That guy is good, but he is so frustrating. Gets through on goal, you go to take the shot, to power up the shot, and then he just takes a little bit too long, and whether it's reactions, whether it's composure, I'm not sure, really don't know what it is. But he just sort of snaps at it sometimes. He can hit it off centre. When you press it, that's the perfect time for him to swing his leg. He delays it slightly, then he swings it too late and slices it, whatever. Fati doesn't have that problem. His composure is bang on. The reaction stat is very confusing. I don't know really what it means, because I can't attribute that to whether he reacts to what you tell him to do. So, for example, if you want to do a drag back and you hit that button like now, he will do it instantly. So I don't really know what that reaction stat means, because he will react. I guess reactions and composure, we've talked about it before, they sort of go hand in hand. I guess that's the way I look at it anyway. When you're pressured by a player and then you press pass, when his composure is low and the reactions are low, he won't react to what you're telling him, and he won't be composed, and he won't give an accurate pass away. But if you have high composure and you have high reactions, then they'll react to what you're telling them to do, and they'll deal with the pressure well enough. So they kind of go hand in hand. Not a problem. His dragbacks are unbelievably snappy. He is a very quick card. I didn't have a problem with responsiveness outside of the typical responsiveness and delayed gameplay that we get in FIFA. So if I'm pressing shoot and it's delayed, I'm not blaming the card, because it happens with everyone, regardless of whether they've got 99 reactions and 99 composure or not, because that's just the game. And it obviously doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you'll have good gameplay and other times you won't. But what this ultimately comes down to is this card worth the 125, 135 that you are going to be paying? And if you already have a card that is better than this card, should you, well, on paper at least, should you go out and get him? I think so, is the long and short of it. And I mean, that is the very short answer. We'll go into a little bit more detail now in the final minute or two. I think he's a Ryan Kent-esque player. So very often I'll be playing this game and my opponent doesn't have Ryan Kent, and I go a goal up and the game gets paused. I'm thinking, ooh, early rage quit? No, not a bit of it. They bring on Ryan Kent. And that is the same for a lot of even pros. This is the next Ryan Kent. I say that, and this guy is obviously better than Ryan Kent, so I'm not doing him a disservice by saying he's the next Ryan Kent, because he's better than him. You'll want this guy in your team over Ryan Kent. Whether he feels as fast as him, I don't know, but he is very good on the ball, very good in front of goal. His passing, not very good at like carving people open with like really crafty through balls or anything, but the immediate short passing is very snappy, very responsive, and it works. As much as the gameplay will allow, but it is accurate. There's absolutely no complaints for me there. Strength, obviously, yeah, it's a little bit annoying that he doesn't have higher strength, but, you know, there are a lot of cards out there. Neymar, for example, he's got terrible strength, but he's still unbelievably good in this game because his balance is so high, and it's the same for Ansu Fati as well. Definitely worth picking him up, even if he doesn't fit your team and you have an icon there or you have a 95 rated team of the season there. Definitely worth picking up for the sub value, and maybe if you have Saul as well, you can start building into that side of your team. And honestly, for 130-odd thousand coins, this guy is superb. Let me know what you think of him if you have used him in the comments, and whether this review may have swayed you to go and get him. If you have enjoyed the review, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.